welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing great today. Today I'm gonna be doing a little bit of a art vlog, and I'm just basically gonna bring you along as I work today. I have some paintings that I'm working on currently. There's one specifically that I'm about to finish, and I did record the whole process, which I will be showing a little bit about today. Originally, I recorded a little bit about the painting already, but I think I'm gonna redo it because, I don't know, I feel like as I worked on it, I changed my mind so many times about the things that I was talking about on the things I recorded earlier, which is one of the amazing parts of working on a painting, is that as you work you have ideas and epiphanies and things happen, and that's what happened this time. So first of all, I want to talk about a book that I mentioned on my last video that I got, and that is my Sofia Coppola Archives book. I have been obsessed with it because I bought it and I decided not to even open it until it was the right time, because I wanted to be extra about it, but also I wanted to use it as a source of inspiration. So I waited until it was the right moment, and I got a cup of tea, I sat down comfortable, and I went through this book. I read every single part of the interviews in it, and I am so inspired. And one of the things is that I just decided to rewatch all of her movies once again, even though it hasn't been even a full year since last time I watched all of them, but here we are. So that has been happening, and it has been making me want to paint a lot more, because as I've mentioned before, something that I really relate to her work and what I find so inspiring is that all of her work always shows a lot about what it's like to be a girl or a woman. It's like different perspectives, different backgrounds, different ages, but it's all about like the girl experience, you know? So I really want my paintings to reflect that, and obviously there is so many different facets of being a woman that it cannot be summarized into just a couple stories, and it depends on cultural backgrounds and so many other things. But just, I guess, from my personal experience and what I myself have gone through, I've been wanting to make a lot of art that kind of tells that in a fun, kind of like fantastical way, just because I don't know, I feel like I find it harder for me to express myself when it comes to literal things, like telling a literal experience, or I don't know. I feel like I can express the meaning or the idea behind what I want to say better through symbols, and sometimes just I let my mind loose, and it surprises me as well, the things that happen while I'm painting, just the things that I decide to add, and then I look back, I step away from the canvas and I look at the bigger picture, quite literally, and it's always so fun to see the things that my brain comes up with where I'm not even aware. It's like my subconscious is so at work. So yeah, I've been finding so much inspiration on her work, and one of the things too is that I have been back to journaling, and I really think, listen, if you're not journaling, go get a journal. Like, it's so good. But I don't only mean like writing about your day on your emotions, which of course that is so good, but I mean specifically an art journal, because I have been really into sketchbooks my whole life. But to be honest, I used to use my sketchbook almost like an art form of itself. Like, all of my pages were very curated and very, at least attempted to make them very perfect. I never really used my sketchbook for what they're supposed to be, and it's basically just letting your mind go free. So very recently I actually started doing that, and it has changed so much the way that I see just creating in general. Like, it doesn't feel so restrictive anymore. I think one of the main things is I have been really trying to start collaging more, and I know that on my last couple paintings I showed how I like to add a little bit of 3D elements, whether it's ribbons or beads or whatever, but I really want to make it a little more of an important part of my art. I've been really excited about like finding little things that I can just add to my paintings and add an extra something. But even though I haven't really done it yet on a canvas, on my sketchbook, I've been really trying to unlock that part of my creativity. And that's something new for me. Just using my sketchbook for what it's supposed to be, just putting in ideas and not worrying about whether it looks good or not, just experimenting, I guess. But also studying. I have another journal that I've been using to just study topics that I'm very interested in. And the reason why I'm telling you all of this is basically because that's what I'm gonna be doing today, and I'm gonna be bringing you with me. So I have my new journal over here where I'm gonna basically be writing about things that I find interesting. And when I mean studying, I mean absolutely anything that I'm curious about. Obviously, I've been doing for a while my study with me videos where I study about art movements or artists, classic artists, and of course that's gonna be included here, but also just random topics of interest that either inspire me to paint or just inspire me in general to be curious and creative. So it could be even just movies that I'm watching. I love writing while I watch TV and journals. I love writing while I watch TV and movies just because I find it so hard to focus on one thing. And that's probably a problem, but I try to use it to my benefit. So I've been watching, well, I said I've been watching the Sophia Coppola movies, but also I just watched, oh my god, I just watched Dead Poets Society with my friend, and I left a different woman. I cried, first of all. Oh my god, I did not expect it to be that emotional. I honestly did not know what to expect at all, but it was a plot twist for sure. But also, I just left so inspired, and as I was watching, I grabbed my journal and I just wrote. I just wrote whatever came to my mind. I wasn't trying to sound smart, or I wasn't trying to write something that I was planning to share on later, so I didn't have to worry about everything being perfect. I just wrote whatever. It doesn't matter if it was just a quote, like I was just quoting something exactly for the movie, or I was just writing my thoughts on something, or just maybe it reminded me of something and made me think of something else. Whatever it was, I just wrote it down, and I feel like that helps me unlock so much more of like my mind in the creative process, but also when I'm watching something that I'm trying to get inspired from. Because when I'm looking and a lot of things come to my mind, it just becomes a little overwhelming, and sometimes by the end of the movie I might remember some of the points, maybe the most important ones, but some things that maybe come to my mind in the moment I might forget. So I like to write everything down and then go back to it and see if, I don't know, maybe something out of that might inspire me to do something. And like I said, not necessarily inspire me to make a painting per se, but maybe just inspire me to create or like to be motivated. And I think all of it is just as important. And then the other one that I was talking about is my sketchbook that I have had for a while, but I have not touched in months. So I decided that instead of just going and sketching or painting studies, which I will be doing, of course, I'll always be doing those, but I want to do more. I want to use it almost like a mood board, because of course Pinterest is always there for you. Pinterest is always gonna be there for you. But I wanted something physical, but also something that I made myself, so that when I go into a painting, I can have Pinterest as a mood board reference, but also my own. And that way it feels a little more organic when I go into a painting and I'm like, I already know exactly what I want to do because I have it on a sketchbook. I have been collecting little bits of ribbons that I want to use on my paintings, maybe some sketches that either I want to turn into a painting or just, I don't know, inspire me to make something else, you know, like the first draft of something. I also have been using the transfer paper for some of my references, like I trace some of the shapes for poses and things like that, and I like to keep it on my sketchbook as well. Two reasons. One, because sometimes I might need them again as I paint in layers. Maybe I need to trace again that shape, but also because I just like having everything there. It's almost like a little souvenir of the time I painted this, you know? So I have been doing a lot of that, and that has been pretty much how I've been doing art for the last couple weeks. I know I have not been very expressive. I know I haven't really shown a lot of that process of how I've been doing it now, which I do want to do more, so this is the beginning of that. I want to start showing more of that, and I guess just making it into like a artist journal series here in my videos, because I know that I already have the study with me's and then I do my art vlogs, and the art vlogs is more just me talking about a specific painting, what it means to me, and my inspiration behind it, all of that. But I also want to share more about just the technical part of it, just the actual process of preparing everything, and like the source material for some of the inspiration, some of the books that I've been reading and the movies I've been watching, and how I turned that into my art, all of that. So yeah, that's what these sketchbooks and journals are for. So I wanted to do a little bit of a haul, first of all, of some of the things that I got that I want to add to my work. And most of it is just ribbons and beads, but I want to show you. I went to Michael's the other day and they had crazy sales, like almost everything was on sale. So I went a little bit crazy. I'm gonna show you first the ribbons. So I wanted to go with like a little bit of a fairy vibe because, as I've mentioned before, I'm currently working on a fairy inspired series of paintings, so that's kind of where my head is at lately, and that is where I've been finding inspiration. So I got this one that is like iridescent. It's so beautiful. I don't know if you can tell with the camera, but it's like blue and greens. I got these beautiful like lace looking ribbon, and then this other one in blue, which I think is so princessy. Got these beautiful ones with little white beads that look kind of like pearly. Last one I got was this purple one. Now these made me think also fairies, but specifically like a mushroomy vibe. I don't know if you can see my vision, but that's kind of what I was going for. Like it looks very like mushroom fairy. And then I got some paints because I really wanted to have a little bit of that same iridescent tone to my paintings, and I got these 4 paints, and I don't know, I think this one is a metallic actually, but the other ones are iridescent. So the metallic one is like a champagne gold. Then this one is a pearly iridescent one. Very light purple. It's like a silver purple. These rose color iridescent. So I am super excited about using these. I'm gonna probably be using this a lot on like the 3D effects. And then I got these beads and little shells and stuff. These were not from Michael's. These are just random. Like some of them I got online, some of them I got in person, and I honestly don't know where most of them came from. These ones I got because they look very like oceany as well. Then I got these tiny little pearls. I got these ones because they look like little water dots. These little sticks. Got these ones that kind of make me think of the night. This one makes me think of sand, like the dark sand on the beach. These colors. I got a bunch of little shells, like little seashells. These little stones that I got from a museum. They had like a little kids exhibit where you can dig your own stones and then you can take them in a little baggie. And these are the ones I collected myself. So yeah, I'm going to be using all of this to paint, to make art, to create. So I am going to first show you how the painting is going, and then I think I'm gonna do some journaling, some studying, and I'm gonna bring you with me. But first, I'm showing my painting. I really need to wash it, but I use this old makeup brush. It's like, I think, a foundation brush, and it looks really hard right now because the paint dried, so I need to wash that. This is not good. I forgot to wash it before I went to bed, but It's very soft. I mean, it's for makeup, so you know, it's meant for the face. And I found that these makeup brushes are amazing for blending. So I use my regular painting brushes for the actual application of the paint, but then where I want to blend or smooth out or blur, I would use these in different sizes depending on how defined or undefined I want to make it. So I use this thicker brush on the edges. So basically I would put, well, I'll show you the video, but I put some white first and then I would blur it out with this brush. And here is my beautiful mess that I am so excited to work with. I don't know, but when I see like this kind of like messy situation with cute colors and like pretty things, it just makes me feel even more inspired. Like, I love a neat, organized space, but just seeing it first before I put everything away, just, it's like, yes, I love this.
Father, and he's a beautiful father, and now they both know these things that I don't.
I think it's been 3 or 4 days already since I started the painting. I have finally finished it and I am so excited with the result. I was a little bit, as I was working on it, a little bit worried that it might look a little unfinished just because, and I think I've mentioned this before, I never know when to stop. I never know when to like decide it's done. And as I was reaching that point where I feel like it's done, because I did want it to be very simple, I wanted to be just the fairies, and I was feeling like maybe I should add a lot more things, and especially because, you know, I usually paint portraits and there's a lot of detail to a face, but this time there is absolutely no detail at all. They're basically just silhouettes. Like, a part of my brain was like, you need to add more detail, you need to make more, but I thought that is a sign that I should stop, because usually when I do that and I keep adding and adding is when I wish I didn't. So I didn't want to have any regrets with this one, and I'd rather it be a little more simple than be too much and look like messy, you know? So I think definitely the detail that made it look complete at the end was the pearly paint on top of the glue gun that I used for the 3D details. I wanted it to look a little bit like, you know, the magic flowing around through the fairies, like kind of connecting all of them and flowing around them. And I am so happy with how it turned out. So yeah, I have absolutely no regrets, and I think this is very therapeutic for me actually, because I think this is the first painting ever that I have just not gone and listened to that voice in my head that says add more. So I'm so glad that I didn't. I know it's rather simple compared to everything that I liked to do, but honestly that's what I like about it, and that's what I want to start doing a little more with my art, and just putting all of my energy and focus on details that make it look nicer rather than on the amount. Quality over quantity. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and I will be back again probably with a study with me. I know I said that last time, and I promise I am working on it. It's just my video has extended a little bit because I had to redo a couple of the things I recorded just like this time. So please, I'm so sorry, forgive me. But I will be studying with you next time.